traditionally Mead is more like a sort of wine, sort of maybe a fortified wine, so something between maybe 13 and 17%. What we tried to do is we dropped the alcohol content to 5.5% and made it a lot more, I guess, sessionable, a lot easier to drink. So the idea is you could have a whole bottle of it to yourself rather than just a little bit at the end of a meal.
What about the traditional meads? Do you like them?
And I think some of the stuff that I've had in the States has been really exceptional. It's been on a par with any sort of good wine you'd get. We've got a barrel over there that we've been aging some mead in for the last year now. So there's definitely scope to do it.
You kind of have a nice sort of easily consumable mead, and then you can kind of be a bit more experimental.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of other things you can do. There's a sort of a rich heritage of adding other fruits and spices and herbs to the meads, and lots of traditional recipes. And there's a huge scope to sort of play with all those flavours.
Right, I'm a little obsessed with your Citra, not tarragon and opium hops, but seawater.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to know where you get your seawater. You just roll up your trousers.
So originally that was what we did for the first batch. We got the seawater from it was actually in Cornwall. So we went to it and boiled it, pasteurised it, and filtered it, and made sure. As we scaled up a little bit, we kind of reconstruct the seawater from sea salt. So the original time we did it, we made I think 500 litres. And so that was done with the seawater. Now, to get the consistency a bit better, we use sea salt and don't mix it down.
I take it was a blue flag beach.
Yeah, it was. It was a very safe beach.
Hibiscus, I saw on your Instagram.
That's something that we have just produced actually for Singapore because they're doing a beer festival out there and they always wanted something special for their beer festivals. So yeah, it's hibiscus, which is crops up quite a lot in Asia as well. It's quite a familiar flavour. Adds a bit of tartness and obviously makes it really red as well. So it's quite a cool colour, yeah.
It sounds like some of your experimentation is driven by the Asian market a bit. I think I read on your site was the Citra one was produced?
They are just the market. I think they find it easier to, especially when they do big beer festivals out there. It's always nice to have something new and something different. So it's a nice outlet for a bit of experimentation for us.
Been reading that there is a Game of Thrones inspired jump in sales.
We definitely started before that kind of sort of revival of Mead. I think they just happened to coincide rather than anything else. It definitely doesn't hurt. It's nice to have an entry point or a reference for people, even if it isn't necessarily that accurate. At least somebody has heard the word Mead. They can kind of place it somewhere, and then you can sort of take them on this journey and explain that it's not all Viking and Game of Thrones theme. There is a.
I was going to bring a sample of something called Grapo de Piña, which I lived in Colombia a long time ago. I made there. People just make it. It's sort of raw, unprocessed cane sugar comes with a brick with pineapple skins and water and then natural yeasts.
And just
but mine went mouldy rather than fermenting. But I was going to sort of issue a sort of challenge whether that's the sort of thing you'd be interested in.
Yeah, I think our brewer Tom loves playing with anything to do with things. So it's always something that we're interested in. Yeah.
Okay. Maybe I'll drop by a brick of panela.
Exactly. We did some with agave the other day. I don't know where it's gone, sorry. But yeah, there was some agave syrup floating about.
Right.
Which we made like a tequila wine.
Yeah.
There's a whole range of things that we'd like to do. I think in terms of flavours, it's hard to say. I think it gets driven by a bit of what we say around what inspires us and what kind of goes well. I think our Citra Sea Mead, I think we're going to continue playing with that, and potentially it's been really popular. It's going down really, really well. Yeah. So tweak that recipe a little bit and bring it into the core range, so it becomes one of our regulars.